I keep writing about this stuff because I think other people notice the same things and don't say it out loud. So here's another one.
The elevator in my building stops at a floor that does not exist. I have the log. I have written it myself. I have pulled every document I can find, and the closer I get to an answer, the less I want one. I want to be precise about how I know this, because I know how it sounds. My name is not important. I work overnight security at a commercial office building in Midtown. 8 floors, 2 stairwells, 1 service elevator, and 1 passenger elevator. I have worked this shift for about 14 months. The job is mostly reconciliation work, HVAC logs, badge reader exports, overnight cleaning crew sign-in sheets, the occasional alarm reset. It is repetitive and quiet, and I am good at it. 2 weeks ago, at approximately 1:10 a.m., I pulled the elevator control panel log as part of my standard HVAC check. The log is a plain text export the building management system generates every hour. I read it on my laptop, compare it to the HVAC data, and make sure nobody left a door propped on a climate-sensitive floor. Routine. Suspicious. I almost missed it the first time. A single line. Car A, floor 9, dwell 00011, depart 12 and 47:03, 11 seconds. No passenger weight registered on departure. I sat with that for a while. I assumed it was a sensor glitch. The building has 8 floors. The passenger elevator has 8 buttons. I have ridden that elevator hundreds of times. The top button is labeled 8. It sits flush against the upper frame of the panel, and above it there is nothing, just brushed steel. Pauses. I did not mention it to anyone. I filed the export and went back to my desk. The second occurrence was 6 nights later. 12:51 a.m. Car A, floor 9, dwell 0011, depart, same duration, no wait. I rode the elevator immediately after pulling that export. I pressed every button from 1 to 8. The car stopped at each floor exactly as expected. I held the doors open on 8 and looked up at the ceiling of the shaft through the gap above the door. Standard concrete soffit. The building ends at 8, physically and visibly. There is no floor above it except the roof, which is accessed by a locked hatch in stairwell B, and I have the only key on the overnight ring. Tense. The third occurrence was 4 nights ago, 12:44 a.m. this time, 17 minutes earlier than the previous 2, still 11 seconds. I started to wonder whether the duration was fixed, whether something about the panel's firmware was producing a ghost event at a pre-programmed interval, some artifact of a configuration set up when the system was installed and never cleared. I am not an elevator technician, but I know buildings, and I know that software sometimes holds the shape of a thing that no longer exists. So I pulled the maintenance manual for the elevator system. The panel is a model rated for up to 12 floors. The building management software has the capacity for 10. The car was configured at installation for 8. That is not unusual. You buy the system that fits your likely range and cap it at what you need. But it means the hardware knows about floors it has never been asked to visit. That was the point where I decided to look at the building's history. Breathes. The basement filing room holds roughly 30 years of paper documents, inspection reports, lease agreements, contractor invoices. It smells like copy toner and old carpet. I went down there last Thursday around 2 a.m. with my phone flashlight and a pair of nitrile gloves I found in the janitor's closet, because some of the older folders are brittle. The building was originally permitted in 1987 for a 10-story structure. The permit is right there, a city-stamped document with a site plan attached. 10 floors. The foundation specs reference load calculations for 10 floors. The elevator shaft, per the original engineering drawings, was sunk to accommodate 10 floors. Construction stopped at 8. I found the contractor correspondence. There was a dispute in 1989, halfway through construction, involving the general contractor and a subcontractor whose name appears on 3 letters and then disappears entirely from the record. The letters are terse. They reference a delay on floors 9 and 10. The next document in the folder is the Certificate of Occupancy for an 8-floor building, dated 1991. Nothing in between. Whispering. 2 pages of the original architect's drawings are missing. Not loose, not misfiled. Missing. The drawing set is bound with metal fasteners, and the pages were removed cleanly, leaving only the fastener holes and 2 thin strips of paper along the spine. The pages that are gone are the floor plan and section drawings for floors 9 and 10. I have not gone back to the basement since. I want to be rational about this. The elevator is logging ghost events because the panel's firmware still knows about a configuration that predates the final build. The shaft exists, physically, because they dug it for 10 floors and never filled it. 11 seconds of dwell time is nothing. It could be a sensor cycling, a contact closing and opening on a relay that was never properly disabled. There is probably an explanation that a qualified technician could give me in 4 minutes. Tense. But I keep coming back to the weight sensor. Every other stop in the log, every stop I have ever reviewed in 14 months of exports, shows a passenger weight on departure when someone exits, or a tear confirmation when the car leaves empty after a manual call. The floor 9 events show nothing. No weight registered, no tear. The log field is blank, not 0. Blank means the sensor did not report. It means the system does not know whether the car left empty or not. I have not told the building manager. I have not told the elevator maintenance company. I pulled their last inspection report, and the most recent visit was 8 months ago. Standard annual check. No anomalies noted. No mention of floor 9 in any field. Size. The 4th event happened last night. I was already watching the log when it populated. 12:39 a.m. Dwell 00011. The window is getting earlier by a few minutes each time, which means in about a week it will push past midnight, and I am not sure what it means that I am already calculating that. I did not go up to floor 8 and look at the shaft above the doors. I thought about it. I stood in the lobby with my key ring, and I looked at the elevator, and I decided not to. What I did instead was check the stairwell. Stairwell B, the one with the roof hatch. I have mentioned the hatch is above the 8th floor. What I have not mentioned, because I did not think it was relevant until last night, is that there is a landing above the 8th floor before you reach the hatch. I always assumed it was a mechanical landing, HVAC equipment. Maybe the top of the elevator machine room. There is a door on that landing. It is not on any floor plan I have found. It is steel, heavier than the stairwell fire doors, and it has a handle but no lock cylinder. Just a handle. I have never tried it because I never had a reason to. I am going to try it tonight. Pauses. I wrote this down first because I wanted a record in case my shift logs look strange in the morning. If you want to follow what happens tonight, the updates are pinned in the comments. Everything I found in the basement filing room, including photos of the permit and the binding where the drawings were removed, is linked in the description.
If anything in this one rang familiar, I want to know. Tell me what you noticed in the comments. I read them.